I'm Hannah Wallace and welcome to FinextraTV at Sibos. Calling into our virtual studio now to talk about banking on change building, the innovative and sustainable enterprise is Ayeesha Sachedina, Chief Transformation Officer, GTS at Bank of America. So Ayeesha, thank you very much for calling in. It's lovely to have you on.
Thank you, Hannah. It's lovely to be here.
Really good to have you on. So yes, we're speaking post-pandemic and I want to talk about some of the trends we're seeing. Can you tell us what trends has the pandemic accelerated, especially with regard to driving organizational change? Let's start there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's interesting. We used to talk about digital transformation a lot pre-pandemic with our clients, but it was usually those that were a little bit more forward thinking in their strategy. What the pandemic changed is really forcing everyone to think about digital transformation. And in many ways, but I think there's a few specific ones that come to mind. First is the delivery model. So everyone had to pursue a digital first strategy, and that was really end to end, right? The second is people. So, and people, it was forced companies to think about people not only from a productivity perspective, but also from a well-being perspective. So that was also a change. And then the third is data. So access to real-time data really became key in order to make more accurate and faster decisions. And that really uncovered a lot of data architecture needs at different companies, where they needed to ensure that they had the right technology stack to be able to enable that. So that was another key change.
But successful transformation is more than just going on a digital journey, isn't it? So can you maybe expand on this? Can you tell us, what does success look like? What does it require?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, it's successful transformation really requires sustainability, right? When you think about the future of work, and we're actually going to be talking about this during a session at Sibos. But in terms of the future of work, there are, I think, three key areas that companies need to focus on. So the first is technology, right? And we talked a little bit about that before, but it's really important to have the right technology internally. And when you think about this, productivity tools immediately come to mind, but it's also beyond that, right? AI has become commoditized. So if you think about how AI is used within an institution, it's not a question of if you use it anymore, it's how you use it and what insights are you providing your clients and customers. And, at the bank, we have used Erica for some time, and we're really expanding and extending this technology throughout the bank. So there's a lot of exciting work happening there. The second is the work model. So it's important to ensure that you have the right return to work model for your employees, and that varies. There's no one size fits all. It varies between type of team, location, so a lot of different factors there. And then the third is really skills. So when you think about skills, it's not only technical skills that are important anymore, and we saw pre-pandemic that was really in focus, but after the pandemic, also critical thinking, problem solving came back into focus as well. And having the ability to upskill and reskill your workforce is not only important for the evolution of an organization, but also to ensure that you can attract the right talent and will become a competitive advantage for companies.
Thank you very much for that, Ayeesha. And it sounds like you're in a great position then to shed some advice for those rethinking their business models. So tell us, how can they be more resilient for the future? What about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's interesting. I tell my team all the time that we need to make our transformation strategy future proof. But this doesn't necessarily mean what you think it means, right? People automatically go to digital tools and ensuring their digital tools are best in class, but it also means focusing on employees and what you're providing to employees, right? Because if you can't attract the right talent, you won't be able to then develop that best in class product for your clients and customers. And then the other thing I would say is it really requires the organization to have a growth mindset from the top down. Because that really allows for successful transformation. And digital transformation is a journey that really has no clear ending. So it requires that open mindset and that growth mindset to continue to evolve.
All right, that's really interesting. So we've been talking about transformation and resilience, and this ties in quite nicely with the topic of sustainability, doesn't it? So tell us, how does Bank of America contribute to building a more sustainable future, and how are you making a positive impact on society?
Yeah, sure. ESG and sustainability have really been a part of the fabric of Bank of America's culture for some time. On the environment side, we participate in the Breakthrough Energy Catalyst initiative. We are a leading issuer of green bonds. So environment has always been important to us, but also diversity and inclusions, right? So I'm sure you're aware, Bank of America committed $1.25 billion to accelerate and advocate for minorities and racial equality and economic opportunity. So through that, we've committed $300 million to minority-focused investments. We also just announced an access to capital directory for women entrepreneurs with Seneca Women. So a lot of activity there and only more to come. So it's pretty exciting.
Very exciting, some incredible work at Bank of America. And Ayeesha, thank you very much for sharing it with us, but we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much for calling in. And for those wanting to hear more, learn a bit more, I urge them to go and tune into that session at Sibos. But thank you.
Thank you, Hannah.